I think I can speak on behalf of a lot of other trans people when I say this. If we're having a conversation and you're like, that's crazy, man slash dude slash bro, and I'm like, hey, please don't call me man, and you're like, oh no, I say it to everybody, I say it gender neutrally. Thanks. I didn't ask if you said it gender neutrally. I said, please don't call me man.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Now, there is absolutely nothing about that young fellow we just heard from in the first clip that would suggest anything other than man or dude or bro. I mean, he's got black lipstick on and long hair, but that could be very easily mistaken for the goth look. So maybe, just maybe, don't try policing other people's speech and language if you're not going to put in any effort to look the part. Just saying. Anyway, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for joining me. So I have a fairly quick and crazy Cloud World update for you guys today, and as usual, we have absolutely no time to waste. So, let's get into it. Have you place your attention on the screen for a moment? So this is Cheryl. Now, Cheryl is a biological man that identifies as a trans woman and calls himself a lesbian. Now, if they were ever to do a modern-day remake of the movie Silence of the Lambs, they wouldn't need to do a casting call to find someone to play the part of Buffalo Bill. Cheryl's got that role locked up. We found our modern-day Buffalo Bill, right? Am I right?
What's wrong with your eyes?
Nothing.
Let's keep this party rolling with this fellow who is a perfect example of what happens to a person's brain when they watch too much CNN or MSNBC. Roll it.
Turns out Trump has an IQ of about 73. He barely functions as an adult. If it were not for the fact that his father gave him a lot of money, he wouldn't be able to function as an adult. Trump has less money now than he would have had if he'd just taken the money he got from his father and put it in an index fund in the stock market and just let it sit. But he's gradually played around with it all these years and lost it in all his lawsuits and so forth, and his 6 bankruptcies, and he's dissipated a fortune over his lifetime. Now, he's had the Russians for the last 20 years to bail him out, but ordinary people cannot be as dumb as Trump and still function. But Trump came out onto the public stage and started talking boldly like he wanted to do things politically and help the people of America. And he speaks like a third grader, because that's what somebody with an IQ of 73 talks like, even if they're an adult. Linguists have analyzed his speech, and they've made it plain. He speaks English at a third grade level. This energized dumb people, because for the first time they could understand a presidential candidate. And they said things like, oh, he speaks his mind. He's the first guy that doesn't use a bunch of fancy words and confuse me. And now I finally understand what he's saying. And of course, what he was saying was a lot of things they wanted to hear. They were the racist dog whistles. And so you had a beautiful alliance from their perspective of racists and stupid people. The lower 12% of the IQ distribution corresponds perfectly to Trump's supporters.
What did you say? What the f*** did you just say?
Now, he's had the Russians for the last 20 years to bail him out.
You were literally too stupid to insult.
Thank you.
Now listen, if anybody ever says they don't like Trump and then they list off some valid reasons for not liking him, that's fine. There are a lot of valid reasons not to like Trump. However, if a person says they don't like Trump and then they start saying, Russia, 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 that person should never be taken seriously again for any reason ever. Anyway, next up, so here is a viral clip of Dylan, our old pal Dylan, trying his hand at stand-up comedy. Now, I'd be willing to bet that this isn't the least bit funny, but let's find out. Roll it.
That the past 2 years have given me a lot of material. And we're in Salt Lake City, so I'm going to do some stuff around my Book of Mormon show that I was in. I've got some beard jokes, a little bit of everything. And I think everyone should try stand-up at least once in their life, because there is nothing scarier, and afterwards, you feel like you can literally do anything. Okay, wish me luck, I'm about to go on, but I do look hot though, right?
Say what?
I do look hot though, right?
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong.
A few moments later.
I would feel like I was a part of something bigger than myself. That was a double entendre. Look at me doing stand-up. The conservative men are just pissed that I can beat them in beer pong. And the conservative women are pissed that their kids are calling me mother in all of my Instagram posts. It went so well. Oh, God, that was amazing. And I get to do it again at 10:30.
Can you repeat the part of the stuff where you said all about the things? The things?
Conservative men are just pissed that I can beat them in beer pong. And the conservative women are pissed that their kids are calling me mother in all of my Instagram posts.
Yeah, that's not funny.
All right, next up we have this teacher who does this weird little skit where she plays herself, the teacher, then she plays a parent to one of her students. And in this skit, she shows how she is willing to deliberately lie and mislead and deceive the parents of her students. It's very telling, very telling. Roll it.
Does my daughter attend this school's LGBTQ club? What's her name? Hannah Watson. No one named Hannah Watson attends the LGBTQ club. Call down and check, please. Hi, Ms. Grayson. Does a Hannah Watson attend your LGBTQ club? Okay, thank you. Well, no one by the name of Hannah Watson attends the LGBTQ club. Fine. Have you checked the Bible study club? That's where she's supposed to be. She's probably there. Why don't you head down there and I'll buzz you in? Okay. Ms. Grayson, send Quinn to the room where the Bible study meets. Her mom is heading down there right now.
You're sick. I really mean that. You're sick.
I don't know if you guys noticed the sign on the wall in that last clip, but it said Hawthorne Middle School. So that lady's a middle school teacher. My question is, why do they have a club in a middle school where they talk about gay sex stuff? Anyway, next up. So this is at some kind of hearing in Florida. Now watch the guy's face that's running the hearing after he misgenders this person. It is priceless. Roll it.
Y'all weigh the freedoms of your constituents with the fact that we haven't had another mass shooting in Florida since Parkland since we passed these gun reforms.
Thank you, sir.
It's ma'am. Thank you.
What the hell did you just say?
Since we passed these gun reforms.
Thank you, sir.
It's ma'am. Thank you.
Excuse me, it's ma'am. It is ma'am.
Hey, real quick, before we go any further, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to let this loop on the screen. Now, we've seen several clips of this new trend recently where these people are literally getting freckles tattooed on their faces. That mess is permanent. Anyway, today's video is being brought to us by, we have a first-time sponsor today, Robert West. Robert, thank you so much for sponsoring today's video, sir. I really appreciate the support. So once again, today's video sponsor, Robert West. Now, if you'd like to sponsor the next video and help support the channel, there is a PayPal link in the description box below, and I will say your full name as a sponsor of said video unless stated otherwise by you. All right, get this off the... What a mess. Ugh.
And there seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
All right, next up we have this slightly rotund fella who starts all of his TikToks off with, "It's your girl Rowan." Roll it.
Hey y'all, it's your girl, Rosy Cheeked Rowan. Why are her cheeks rosy? Because she just got them electrocuted for the 42nd time. I've started going to electrolysis every other week. Why every other week? Because your bitch is broke and electrolysis is expensive. But as always, you can see these beautiful cheeks are all nice and red and clear where they got zapped. And, you know, I was talking last time about, you know, like looking at this fuzz from when I have to go, you know, without shaving since Sunday. And I was looking at some of the older videos and oh my gosh, the difference is actually incredible. I feel so good about it. So yeah, I hope you're all having a wonderful day, and I love you, and take care.
That guy's got a serious weight problem. Go home, start exercising.
So I saw this picture making its rounds on the interwebs. It says Pronoun Check, please, and it has this lovely lady with the rainbow-colored hair. And I guess my only response to something like this would be,
Go f*** yourself.
all right, guys, let's jump on over to the White House and see what's going on with former Vice President Joe Biden's publicist, diversity hire Karine Jean-Pierre. Now watch her get super triggered because one of the reporters just asked her why Joe Biden always relies so heavily on note cards, which he does. Then she's going to do what she does best, which is gaslight the American people. Roll it.
One more, if I may. The president, I noticed, had note cards at the border when he was doing his briefing there. He also had note cards last Friday with the Italian prime minister. Why does the president rely so heavily on note cards?
You're upset because the president has note cards? You're asking me a question about the president having note cards?
I'm asking why.
The president who has had probably one of the most successful first 3 years of an administration than any modern day president. He's done more in the first 3 years than most presidents who had 2 terms. You're asking me about note cards? I'm not speaking to you right now, James. I'm talking to your friend over here, Ed. So thank you so much. But thank you so much for interjecting. Go ahead, Ed.
I was just asking why he relies so heavily on note cards.
I think what's important here and what the American people care about is how this president is delivering for them. And that's what he's doing. And that's what's the most important thing here.
Excuse me. Did you just say?
Probably one of the most successful first 3 years of an administration than any modern day president. He's done more in the first 3 years than most presidents who had 2 terms.
Why the f*** you lying? Why you always lying?
All right, guys, we're going to be wrapping it up with this clip of her boss, the liar-in-chief Joe Biden. I'd say she learned from the best of them, talking about shrinkflation. And this is exactly why other countries look at us like we're not a serious people. This is our president! Anyway, guys, things are clearly getting very crazy out there, so please take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Till next time, love you guys. Peace. Roll it!
All snack companies, you won't and think you won't even notice what they're doing. When they charge you just as much for the same size bag of potato chips, only has a hell of a lot fewer chips in it. I'll tell you who did notice, the Cookie Monster. He pointed out his cookies are getting smaller, paying the same price. I was stunned when I found out that's what actually happened.
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure. True international effort to pressure. True international effort to pressure.
Do caca poo poo.